A family man is drafted to fight in a future war where the fate of humanity relies on his ability to confront the past. Hello, everybody. I'm Steve from VALHARTV, and today I'll be reviewing The Tomorrow War. Such a great review for you guys today. This movie is directed by Chris McKay and written by Zach Dean. Okay, so this movie is set in 2022. The world is stunned during the World Cups, the Soccer World Cup, when a group of time travelers arrive from 2051. This is where I thought was really good, too, because the movie doesn't waste any time. It throws you right into the very start of everything. And the visuals here, I thought were great. I mean, you get to see this portal open up right in the middle of the World Soccer Cup. It's like almost the end of the World Cup. And these people just kind of like float down to the ground out of this portal. And I was like, what? And they've got guns pointed out to get everybody away. And then the one girl walks out and she's like, all right, calm down. We're here from the future. And boom, you're thrown right into it. People are getting drafted. You see it right off the bat. Everything's going on. But then they start talking about the statistics of people returning versus not returning, how everything's looking, about the war. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. And among those that are drafted is a high school teacher, science whiz, and Iraq war veteran, Dan Foster. And he's played by Chris Pratt. And I thought this was really good because you see in the beginning where Chris Pratt's character, Dan, is feeling like he's meant to do more than just kind of teach high school science. And we see that really play in and out of this movie, especially with his family life, the dynamics there. We also get to meet nervous tech nerd Charles, who's played by Sam Richardson, and a wisecracking weirdo Noah, who's played by Mary Lynn. Not going to even try to pronounce her last name. I'm going to butcher it, so I apologize. But yeah, this whole cast of characters throughout this whole thing. We even get to meet J.K. Simmons, who plays Dan's father in this movie. Not very much screen time, but when he's in it, he's in it. He does a fantastic job in this movie. So we get to see how they get drafted as well, and everything that happens for the whole process of it, which I thought was brilliantly done. When we get to the future, it looks like an apocalypse is literally taking place. Like, you are thrown right into the middle of this. And everything is in ruins. All the way, right from buildings to cars, ships. I mean, we get to see a lot of different stuff in this, and it is really well done. I was floored by this. I couldn't believe how well the visuals are done. And I believe this had a $200 million budget. So for $200 million, they did a fantastic job with the way things looked in this. And again, this has good family values in it as well. And that's kind of rare to see nowadays in like anything from movies to TV shows. They're always trying to depict somebody as being the bad parent. It's usually typically the bad father. And we do get to see this in this, but there are reasons, and they explain it. Like J.K. Simmons, he literally explains why he had to leave, and we get to see that, and it is emotional. You feel like, wow, this guy was going through some crazy stuff because of the Vietnam War that he was in, and he just couldn't be around his family, because he. I don't want to spoil things, but yeah, he explains things, and of course, Chris Pratt doesn't care. He's like, you left us, done. And we find out something in the future that really, he's like, no way. He's like, never do anything like that. And it's great. And the way the people in this are conscripted was, I thought, really smart. Excuse me. I thought was really smartly done. I thought it was really well done. And they even explain a little bit of it. You get to see Charlie, who really kind of starts figuring things out. He's like, do you notice this and this? And Chris Pratt's character, Dan, is like, oh, he's like, yeah. He's like, now that you are saying it, you know. And it was really well done. And even the time travel in this was actually explained really well. I was very surprised. And when they're questioned about why they haven't done, you know, a certain thing, they tell them, well, you know, this really isn't, you know, we barely have anything to do it with, you know. And they're like, oh, okay, that's kind of crazy, you know. And I thought it was great. And the humor in this, too, was really well done. It was really really well placed as well. I thought that it didn't take away from the movie. There were key points where the humor was appropriate, really. It didn't take away from anything, in my opinion. And the pacing of this movie, I thought, was really well done. It does slow down in certain parts, but that's really to kind of explain things and to, you know, for like Chris Pratt's character to have more of a connection with certain people, including his family. So I thought that was really well done, to be honest with you. It really didn't detract from the movie completely. And this movie was 2 hours and 18 minutes. And now the effects in this. Oh, again, the effects were fantastic. The time jump was fantastic looking. You get a scene where they're falling from the sky. Fantastic looking. The aliens. The aliens were extremely well done in this. You get the sense that, you know, and they explain it too in the movie, that there's differences between the males and females of the alien species. And they even look semi-different as well. There's different markings, different coloring. It's really well done. I actually liked it. Now again, J.K. Simmons was great in this movie. He's not in it a lot, but he plays a believable father that went through something that he just couldn't really handle and he couldn't talk about. You know, like back during like the Vietnam War and other wars, there really wasn't any groups to help these veterans out to talk. There were some, but they weren't as many as they are today, where you can just go to places and be with these same people, you know, people who've had similar experiences with PTSD, you know, and he had to deal with that really like on his own. Ivan Strovosky, I believe is how you pronounce her last name, was really, really good in this. She played a very believable character. And the moments when she interacted with Chris Pratt's character, they were actually really touching. They were touching moments because you could really kind of believe that she was, you know, in that moment, really. Again, I don't want to spoil anything. I'm trying to do this as spoiler-free as possible. But Chris Pratt also played a believable teacher and veteran, you know, and he was trying to help people out. He was trying to save as many people as he could in the movie because that's what he wanted to do. He didn't want to go back and feel like he failed. And there's moments in this that really change him fundamentally, in my opinion, you know, for when he does eventually, you know, towards the end of the movie. And that's why he does the things, at you know, especially towards the end of the movie. And, of course, there are, you know, like, dumb plot holes in this movie. Like, towards the end of the movie, Chris Pratt, he jumps when he really shouldn't be jumping, but there's a reason for it. And he's also injured, so it's kind of like, wait, what? How does he jump like that, you know? But, again, with every time travel movie and show, they have to deal with plot holes that sometimes don't make sense, sometimes do, but there's always going to be plot holes in time travel movies. You can't cover every base. And that's from since the beginning of time travel movies. From the very first one, I'm sure, all the way till now, they've had to all deal with certain plot holes because you open up too many branches to go through in time travel. And that's the biggest, in my opinion, that's the biggest problem, with those kind of shows and movies is that, what if this character goes this way instead of going that way? They zig versus zagging, and it's like, you can't cover those plot holes, you know what I mean? And it's always going to be something. But this movie is solid, like really solid, and holds up outside of these plot holes, which makes it still really good. Like, I was very surprised. When I started watching the trailer for this movie, I literally shut the trailer off because I was like, this movie really doesn't look that great. And it was poor marketing, poor marketing on their part for Amazon, because this movie was a great movie. Surprisingly great movie. Absolutely enjoyed it. I would give this at least an 8.5 out of 10. Easily, hands down. One of the best movies I've seen all year. And I've reviewed good movies, and I've reviewed bad movies, and I still think this is a great movie. Probably one of my favorites out of this year so far. So if you guys like what I do, please hit the like button and subscribe. Take care for now, everybody.